Now it's time for our study session. And we're going to switch up things a little bit differently today. And we're going to allow Counselor Allen to go first.
All right, good afternoon. Thank you for making the adjustment. I have items 19 through 23. I'm going to start with item 19. That's the City as Canvas program. We've been in discussion about this for a few weeks now, but I wanted to see for today if there were any final questions before we move this to a vote or any discussion that we need to have during study session before 1 o'clock, if anybody wants to chime in.
So I have a question. Sorry, I have a little throat thing going on. Is there an admin fee being collected for this proposal? And if so, who is going to be collecting that?
So I
Is
can
that
answer that. So we don't charge an admin fee in TNT. So what we pay to home headquarters to administrate all of the grants that we receive is a flat fee each year, which is often waived by Mr. Quaglia.
So who is the staff or the team that's going to be administering this whole process, this proposal?
So we have one part-time staff member now, obviously Tina Zagiva. She will have to increase her time that she spends on TNT to administer the program. We did write that into the proposal.
Okay, so what's that amount?
We wrote in $15,000 for administration
So is that per year or?
per year.
So what is that, like almost up to 40,000 for the whole term?
30, so it's 15,000. So it'd be a $30,000 total. We wrote that in as administration. And that we're hoping to offset that with obviously getting other money to supplement this program too. So for instance, the money that we would spend on the educational component, we have other donations coming in to kind of offset that. So we did this with the grant that we received for the lead education. We did the same exact thing. We had other organizations giving us money to offset. So we had people donating to print material, so we didn't have to always be spending every single penny. And that money just goes right into that grant pot, and we keep it flowing. So that's the hope here too.
Do you have a total budget planned then for this? You're getting more donations, so you're asking for 250 currently. I thought that was going to fund the whole mural project. Is that not the case, or?
No, that's the case. But the 250, as I've said before, I'm hoping that the 250 is not just a one and done. I'm hoping that this program lives in perpetuity, where we use this 250 to kickstart. We get 8 murals or 8 projects or 16 projects, however many we can get with the 250, and that we continue the program with private funders. One of the reasons that the first thing I did was go out to the foundations and say, here's what the program looks like. Here's our hopes. Do you like it? And their support has been, yes, we like it, especially the educational component. So yes, the 250 will cover this, but we hope that that 250 doesn't just go to it and then disappear, that we keep going and we end up looking like, you know, a city like Houston where there's public art everywhere, there's murals everywhere, or Rochester. Councilor Driscoll's a big fan of Rochester's public art program. So I'm hoping this is just a launch pad.
And again, you don't have an exact maintenance plan in place for, I don't know how long the paint's going to last on buildings versus roads versus.
Well, we're not going to paint roads. We're going to paint upright murals. That's not, roads are not in there. And again, we'll leave the maintenance question to the artists. And one of our key components with the Public Arts Commission and with the artists is going to be that they use the best materials possible with the money that they have. And we're going to ask some questions about how long will it last? What will you do to protect the paint? What kind of coating are you using? And there are people out there that know exactly what you should be using to make murals last as long as possible.
And I guess that's a little bit of my concern too, is that you're relying on the artist, who I'm sure are going to be fabulous. But if they tell you that the paint is going to last for 5 years and then it starts to chip after 2, like, who is the true expert? I don't know if the Arts Council, Kate Atwater, maybe you have that expertise to know, but I just feel like there's some good intentions, but I'm not sure the exact plan is there to protect and preserve as much as you think it's going to be?
Well, I think that the experts lie in probably both the artist and the people that sell and sell the paint and make the paint. There's a large art community. I guess we don't have to just go to Syracuse. We can call and talk to anybody that is uh, I don't know what kind of coating to use or how long they last. I do know that there's a lot of murals in the city that have been there for a long time. So I think we could probably investigate pretty easily and find out, we want to use the best materials. We want them to last. Believe me, the last thing I want is a phone call that says that it's immediately deteriorating. But one thing that we have talked about repeatedly is that we don't want to put these in places that we think there was going to be a problem right off the bat. We've made that mistake before, and not being TNT, but other organizations have placed murals in places that upon a deeper investigation, it never should have gone there, because you can see when it rains one time that the water is just going to destroy it. And we don't want to do that. So one of the questions is going to be, is it viable? And we have a lot of resources with TNT partnering with SPAC. And of course we have the city as well. We have people that I can call Neil Burke and say, listen, come walk with me and tell me, does this look like it's going to be a problem for paint? And we can do that due diligence sometimes in a day,
Okay, another question, and then I'll be done. It's kind of for Jen Tift, actually. I know, Jimmy, you had mentioned that you would go to other artists outside the city if the city pool wasn't big enough. Jen, is it legal to use the ARPA money to go outside of the city boundary?
Yeah, good afternoon, councilors. Jen Tiff, Director of Strategic Initiatives. So it's really more of a policy question, I think, for us in terms of how we want to use the ARPA funds. We've nothing in the ARPA regulation says that we can only use these funds to support businesses that are based inside of our borders, although generally speaking, we have made that limitation for our small business loan programs and other programs where we want to direct our resources, to city businesses. I do think one of the keys for this program, which we've talked about with Jimmy before, is, while we talk about this as a public art program, and it is, and certainly there are criteria related to, the art and the, some of the community engagement that we would like to see out of this program. What enables us to use the ARPA funds to do this has nothing to do with public art. So what enables us to use the ARPA funds to do this is our ability to support artists and organizations from an economic recovery perspective. So that's basically how we justify it to the federal government in terms of the use of ARPA funding, but we can layer in then other local requirements on top of that in terms of what we want to get out of the art program. Do we want this to just be directed at city-based artists, that sort of thing? We have the flexibility and the freedom to to do that.
Okay, so when you say art program, is that the whole community piece where you're wanting to get youth involved and schools involved? Because I hear two different things going on. One, we're just going to paint a bunch of murals and beautify our city and make it look like Houston. And then on the other hand, I hear this program. So can you clarify just a tiny bit on that? Is it both?
Is that for me or for Jen?
Whoever wants it.
Oh, I think it's, I absolutely think it's both. I don't think it's just limited to beautification. I think the idea behind the educational piece sprung out of the Arts Commission, where we had a conversation, and I will say I'm the proponent of that piece. I think it's wasted time. It's a huge waste of resources if we have an artist that does beautiful work painting a wall, and we're not figuring out a way to teach somebody something, right? I think as someone who's 47, I'm going to learn a lot from watching that process, watching these things go up. I've never watched someone paint a mural. I don't know what the materials are. I'm going to learn that now. I think it would be a mistake on our part to not include an educational piece, whether it's third graders or it is, artists that are retirees that need something, a new hobby, or, anybody. An educational piece was really the main thing that I cared about. A close second to the beautification piece, and to to add to what Jen said, we are going to try to use people that live, work, have a business inside of this city. They get first preference, absolutely 100%.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments?
I just have a comment, Latoya and
Yes.
Jennifer, just to let you know that we have met with Jimmy prior, and CNY Arts will in any way, shape, or form that he may need be assessing the program in any way he needs. So, you know, because you mentioned if CNY Arts would have any part of it, we will definitely help DNT and Jimmy Monto be successful with the program.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Peniagua. All right, so we'll go ahead and call this item ready. And then I'm going to jump down to 20. So we're actually holding this item for a committee meeting that will be held this Friday, March 4th at 12 p.m.
Counselor, if I could interrupt for a second, maybe
Sure.
in Counselor Paniagua, when she's talking to the CNY artist, maybe she can also. I'm sort of nervous that we don't include the administrative fee into some of this legislation we hear.
Are you going back to item 19?
No, I'm going to, well, to Counselor Schultz's point, item 20 doesn't seem to have anything in here. And I had talked to Mr. Butler at the last study session. He said it was 11.6%. And it's not, yes, go on. Somebody.
I don't want to interfere. Because this letter is being held, that new letter have not came, so you don't see the 10% that was said to be in item number 20. It would be on the next agenda with that 10% added in the legislation and the short title.
So in other words, they're going to accede to my wish to have it stipulated
They
at
said
11.
it,
Okay.
I'm sorry, yeah, they said at the last meeting there is a 10% administrative fee.
I think they said 11.6%, but
Okay.
why quibble?
All right, I haven't got the request letter yet.
Okay, so they will. Okay, so we'll see it and we'll look forward to seeing it on Friday and maybe a little more definition on this program. Thank you, Counselor Allen.
You're welcome. All right, so we'll discuss that on Friday, and hopefully we can have the updated letter by Friday as well. All right, so going down to item 21. Who do we have here? This was, wait, Kate, right? Is Kate on? Okay,
Yep.
so, and 21 and 22, are they companion items?
Yes.
Or did you want to just speak on both of them? Okay, just briefly. I know we didn't really have any issues with them last week, but if you just want to quick.
Yeah, this,
30
so this
seconds.
is, yeah, these are a request to go into contract with Dennis Connors, as well as the National Alliance of Preservation Commissions, to provide training to the Landmark Preservation Board, as this is funded through a grant from the New York State Parks, Recreation and Historic Preservation. And it is to provide some professional development / board training that will also be available for other city boards. If anyone has any questions.
Okay. No questions. All right, thank you.
Thanks very much.
Yep, and item number 23, this was, I know there is going to be an update. I'm assuming that is in the new packet that we received. Joe Barry, is Joe Barry on the call?
Yes, Councilor Joe Barry, First
Okay.
Assistant. We submitted a revised ordinance to take into account the 18 to 12 split to mirror the state program. There was a drafting error in the original ordinance. So it's going to be 18% MWBE and 12% WBE to come up to the 30.
Okay, and this is the exact match of the New York State's current standards, correct?
That's my understanding, yes.
Okay. All right, any questions on that item? Okay. So just to clarify, I won't be here at 1 o'clock, so Councilor Driscoll is going to take my items. So item 19 is ready, 20 we're going to hold, and 21, 22, and 23 are ready. All right, thank you. Thank you for letting me go first too.
You're
Appreciate it.
welcome. Thank you, Counselor. All righty, back to our regularly scheduled program. I have item 9, and I am going to call that one ready. Counselor Caldwell.
Hello, everyone. Is Julie in before we get started? Julie, are you on?
I am here, yes.
Okay, Julie, I apologize. I wasn't here last meeting due to medical, but can you briefly just talk about that really quick?
Absolutely. Item number 9, this is a software system we've been using for the last 3 years. It's called RecDesk. It's just up for, we're trying to bring it back. This is how we permit our programs, every facility, how we accept online registration, how we do credit card payments. So it's pretty much how we thrive in our department. So we're just requesting a 1-year contract with 2 1-year renewals.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions? Madam President, I say it's ready. I urge it for adoption.
Not yet. Not adoption
yet.
yet. That's at 1 o'clock.
All right, I'm getting it. Thank you.
You getting it? Okay. Counselor Green.
Thank you, Madam President. I have items 10, 11, and 12, and those are ready unless there's any questions from fellow councilors. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Paniagua.
Good afternoon, everybody. I have items 13 to 15. Unless there's additional questions, I think they are ready. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Paniagua.
That was me.
Oh, you did all of them together. All right. It's Monday.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I should have. Okay, well, yeah.
Counselor Hogan.
Thank you, President Hudson. I have items 16 and 17. I guess 16 will have to hold because we have a problem with some of the paperwork. Mr. OJ, has that been taken care of? Or Mr. Collins?
Councilor Hogan, Matt OJ, Commissioner of Assessment. Yeah, we are working on getting that straightened out now. Just a couple outstanding questions about the property count because there's a different number of units and properties for this scattered site project. But we'll have that buttoned up, I think, by the close of business today.
Okay, thank you. And thanks. I want to thank the ever vigilant city clerk for apprising me of that situation on Friday afternoon, which caused a little angst for me, but that's okay. As long as we get it buttoned up and we can start this project. And I have item 17 and 2, and if there's no questions, I'll call item 17 ready and 16 will hold. Thank you, President Hudson.
Thank you. Counselor Majuk.
Thank you, Madam President. I have item 18 and it is ready, except if anyone has questions. Thank you.
Thank you. All righty. On to Counselor Driscoll.
Thank you, Madam President. I have items 24 through 43, and I do believe they are all ready unless any of my fellow councilors have questions.
Yes, Counselor, I think based on our conversation with the
Oh, my apologies. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Items 24 and 25 will still be held. My apologies, Councilor Majuk. I forgot that.
No
So
problem.
24 and 25 will be held, and I believe all the rest are ready.
Counselor Driscoll.
Right.
Yep.
Counselor Driscoll, we have to hold item 34 to after the public hearing.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
My apologies. Just 34, or is it a companion piece?
Just 34 for now. Yep.
Okay. So my apologies, President. I misspoke. Items 24, 25, and 34 will all be held. The rest of the items, I believe, are ready unless anybody has further questions.
All righty. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okie dokie.
And with that, I need a motion to adjourn.
Move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All righty. See you back at 1. Rising for the Pledge of Allegiance. We're going to take a quick moment of silence for everything that's happening in Ukraine and across the world. Thank you. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Yes, Madam President. Counselor Codwell,